Hey everyone! In this video we have a 2021 AI and Ethics paper from Peter and Laura Smith, Artificial Intelligence and Disability. Too much promise, yet too little substance? And yeah, I'm tempted to read you the abstract, but I'm actually just going to dive right in. It's actually fairly short. It's only about 6 pages. And that includes references, so this should be under half an hour. The aim of this thought piece is to explore the interface between AI and disability and the ethical dilemmas which this raises. To do so, we shall use narrative accounts in the form of diaries as two disabled people to analyze how AI is used as part of our daily lives, and the promise, support, and frustration this brings. We shall also undertake a brief literature review of academic and professional articles on the topic of AI disability and ethics. Finally, we shall draw conclusions as to how developers might better approach the construction of AI software and technology. So, let's review. Within this thought piece, we shall use the social model of disability, which originated within the UK in the 1970s. In this document, Fundamental Principles of Disability, UPIAS, the Union of Physically Impaired Against Segregation, defined disability not as impairment of the body or the brain, but as a relationship between people with impairment and a discriminatory society. The influence of Marxist thought and labor movement traditions is clear in the work of UPIAS, and in Capital, Karl Marx defined capital and labor as not things, but as relationships. That is, the social model implies a society which disabled individuals by the constructs which it places around us, and that is because society is not inclusive, that individuals are disabled. More than 1 billion people live with disability, and there is a need to explore how AI technologies can affect this diverse group. AI research can be a force for good for disabled people as long as they are not marginalized. A roadmap which includes AI and ethical issues has yet to be developed according to the Alan Turing Institute. The creation of a network of experts and resources for AI inclusion could help to address the unmet need of assistive products, crucial to implement the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. A number of authors have written on the topic of disability, AI, and ethics, justice, or fairness. We shall summarize recent developments in this area below. It is hoped that these developments lead to a more inclusive and hence ethical, in my view, approach to the design of AI systems for those with disabilities, including myself. Bennett and Keyes present 2 case studies, one on decision-making and the other on AI for visually impaired, to demonstrate how, through failures to consider structural injustices in their design, they are likely to result in harm not addressed by a fairness framing of ethics. They call on researchers into AI ethics and disability to move beyond simplistic notions of fairness and towards notions of justice. White discusses fairness for people with disabilities, identifying some of the central problems, and took a philosophical perspective motivated by a concern for social justice, emphasizing the role of ethics. Lillywhite and Woolbring identified many ethical issues within AI and machine learning as fields within individual applications. They also identified problems in how ethics discourses engage with disabled people. Kokelberg proposes 4 objections to introducing AI in healthcare. First, a robot is able to deliver care, but it will never really care about the human. Second, AI cannot provide good care, as true care requires empathetic contact with humans. Thirdly, AI may be able to provide care, but doing so violates principles of privacy, which is why they should be banned. Finally, AI technologies, such as robots, provide fake care and are likely to fool people by making them believe they are receiving genuine care. Truman argues that fairness for disabled people is different to fairness for other protected attributes such as age, gender, or race because of the extreme diversity of disabilities, and suggests ways of ensuring fairness for disabled people in AI applications. Floridi et al. Report the findings of AI for People, an initiative designed to lay the foundations for a good AI society. They introduce the opportunities and risks of AI for society and present ethical principles that should underpin its development and adoption. If adopted, these recommendations would serve as a firm foundation for the establishment of a good AI society. In 2019, TechShare Pro had a panel on ethics, machine learning, and disabilities, which was chaired by AbilityNet and included the head of the public engagement at the Ada Lovelace Institute. In the high-level expert group on AI, present ethics guidelines for trustworthy artificial intelligence. According to the guidelines, trustworthy AI should be lawful, respecting all applicable laws and regulations, ethical, respecting ethical principles and values, and robust from both a technical perspective while taking into account its social environment. OpenAI is an AI research and development deployment company based in San Francisco. Their mission is to ensure that AI benefits all of humanity. In OpenAI, released a charter that will guide the AI development acting in the best interest of humanity. Therefore, it seems there are many initiatives which are striving to solve the problems and address the issues inherent in developing AI systems which are fair and ethical for and serve the needs of those with disabilities. It is true that AI technologies have the potential to dramatically impact the lives of people with disabilities. However, widely deployed AI systems do not yet work properly for disabled people, or worse, may actively discriminate against them. Gu et al. Identify how AI may impact particular disability constituencies if care is not taken in their design, development, and testing. This is something which Laura and I have both experienced in our day-to-day lives and interactions with and use of simple AI systems. The diaries which we have prepared and presented below demonstrate this. Closer to home in terms of my own disability, Yozbetirin et al. Used data from one subject to demonstrate the feasibility, safety, and effectiveness of robotic-assisted training of upper extremity motor functions after incomplete spinal cord injury. Developments such as this give me some hope that advanced AI technology may yet assist in my further recuperation. Methodology. Methodology employed in this thought piece is a mixture of autoethnography and reflection. We present two narrative accounts based on our own experience of the use of day-to-day AI technology, such as speech technology on mobile phones, and technology to help the visually impaired. We have employed autoethnographic research approaches and techniques of reflection in this work. Autoethnography is an approach to research and writing that seeks to describe and systematically analyze personal experience in order to understand cultural experience. Autoethnography involves analyzing your own experiences and feelings, preferably as they occur, and relating this to the academic literature and using those experiences to draw wider conclusions resulting in lessons for others. Reflection has many similarities with autoethnography. Reflection involves analyzing particular occurrences, again, preferably as they occur, and thinking about what is learned from these occurrences and what decisions are taken as a result. One method often used in reflection, applied in this paper, is the critical incident approach. The critical incident approach involves identifying and analyzing particular incidents which occur and which makes the individual question their own beliefs or practices. To help us do so, we have each prepared a diary of our day-to-day interactions with simple, readily available AI systems. These diaries appear below in the form in which they were written using first person as their personal accounts. So Peter, critical incident. On the 29th of April, 2016, 5 a.m., I was returning to my bedroom in the dark. I found myself plummeting down the stairs. I landed awkwardly with my head hanging over the stairwell. I realized immediately I had broken my neck. I could not feel my arms or legs. I shouted for my wife, Marie, who telephoned for an ambulance. I was rushed into intensive care at the Royal Victoria Infirmary, Newcastle, UK. I was later transferred to Spinal Injuries Unit at James Cook Hospital, Middleborough, UK. I spent 6 months in hospital learning how to speak, eat, and breathe again. I started physiotherapy, regained some mobility. The damage to my spinal cord is incomplete, which means I have some mobility, but none which is really functional, and that I cannot feed myself or walk. Peter's diary, including a series of critical incidents. 7 a.m. I am woken by my carer, has been watching over me and moving me in the bed during the night. The carer gives me a snack, usually toast, and my morning medication. Then a second carer arrives to wash me and prepare me for the day. 9 a.m. I'm washed and showered by my carers, check my medication with the carers, and I realize I need to order some painkillers, so I use speech-activated software to telephone my general practitioner surgery. After a few attempts, my mobile phone picks up the correct number and dials. Unfortunately, nobody answers, and I am unable to end the call. I'm asked to leave a message, which I do not really want to do, but I cannot stop the call either. My carer arrives in the dining room after finishing the ironing and switches off my mobile phone for me. I ring again, and this time I get through the first time and order my meds. 10 a.m. I decide to answer my emails. To do so, I use speech technology and the assistance of a carer. The carer needs to switch on my computer, load my browser, enter my email account. When I was in hospital, I was trained to use a device which involved a camera, which recognized a silver dot placed on my forehead or on a pair of glasses. Unfortunately, I found it difficult to use and ultimately annoying, that I prefer to ask a carer to use the mouse for me. I use speech technology to help me answer my emails. This technology is trained to recognize my voice, and most of the time it does okay. However, on several occasions, it spells words incorrectly and sometimes fails altogether. In the time it's taken me to type and correct this paragraph, including asking my carer to retype several words, I could have previously typed 2 pages. Simple commands which involve words such as Word are likely to open the word processing software Word. As another example, asking the speech software to type the word dot resulted in a full stop being typed. In many ways, the speech software is a tremendous help, and in others it is very frustrating. 12 noon, I need to text one of my carers to bring some frozen meals from town for me. It takes me several attempts to get the text right. First, I have to identify the correct person to send it to. The speech software on my mobile phone often gets confused between similar names, so I have to be careful that I'm not sending a text to the wrong person. When I've identified the correct person, the software does not give me much time to speak the text. If I break for a few seconds, it stops and reads the text back to me and asks if it's okay to send. As I have not finished the text, I have to start again. There's probably a way of continuing with the same text, but I have not been able to find it. Therefore, I start the text again, and in the end, although I may not be totally correct, it is close enough to be understandable, I send it anyway. My carers are used to garbled texts and can usually decipher them. Sometimes my texts are somewhat embarrassing. For example, I tried to send a text to one carrier with a kiss in the form of a letter X, and it came out as sex and was sent before I had a chance to realize what I had done. I'm sorry, Peter. I probably had a good laugh that day, though. 2 p.m. I have a Zoom meeting with 2 former colleagues. My carers managed to launch the meeting for me successfully. However, about 20 minutes, I must have said something which resembles the words wake up, which is the command to activate my speech software. Annoyingly, dictation box appears in the middle of my screen. Although my colleagues cannot see it, I can no longer see them, and I need to shout the command go to sleep at my screen. Sometimes this works, sometimes it does not. More than often, I have to shout for my carer, comes from the next room, closes the dictation box, switches off my microphone, that operates the speech software, another minor irritation over. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have laughed at that. 5 p.m. I listen to some music, mostly old hits from the 60s. I ask my home hub to play a particular song. It does not recognize the title, or it does not like my voice, and it plays a completely different song. I try to get it to stop, but it cannot recognize my voice over the music, so I have to wait until the track finishes and ask it to play the song I originally wanted to hear. 9 p.m. My evening carer arrives. With the help of the carer's been at work on the afternoon, turns her over in my bed. I have a snack. The carer gives me my evening meds, and I tell my home hub to go to sleep, which takes several attempts as it often ignores me, and we settle down to watch some television. Another day over, similar routine begins the next morning. That does suck. All right, Laura's story. Critical incident. Maria and I are in the Sunderland Eye Infirmary, UK, with our 3-year-old daughter, Laura. Laura has developed juvenile arthritis, which has started to affect her sight. The consultant has just looked into her eyes and asked his colleague to also have a look. They are both concerned about the damage to her eyes. I ask how serious the damage is, and the consultant tells us he is quite concerned about it and how it might affect her sight. I ask, could she go blind? The consultant replies, yes, it is possible she might. Maria and I look at each other in shock. Subsequent to this, Laura had many excellent treatments at Sunderland Eye Infirmary at St. Thomas's Hospital, London, UK, and the Prince Charles Eye Unit, Windsor, UK. Sadly, they are unable to save her sight, and she is blind by the time she is 5 years old. Laura's diary, including a series of critical incidents. 5:45. I'm woken by my 3-year-old daughter. I shout out to my phone, ask my speech technology to tell me the time. Definitely too early to be up. I then ask my speech technology to set an alarm for 7 a.m. 7:15 a.m. I'm making breakfast and want to find a particular cereal from the many boxes on the shelf. I use an app which, after taking a photograph, can identify and describe an object. I select a box, take a photo, and wait. It describes the color of the packaging. I rotate the box to its perpendicular side. This time the app lets me know I'm holding a box. I try a few more attempts turning the box, moving the phone up and down to focus on different areas of the cereal packet. After around 6 tries, the phone finally lets me know that it's not the box I'm looking for. I select another packet. 3 attempts in, I decide to go ask my partner instead. 8 a.m. My daughter brings me a selection of printed books. Can I have a story, Mummy? She asks. We choose a book, and I am pleased to see it's one I've previously labeled. There is a sticker on each page, which, when tapped with a special pen-shaped device, triggers a recording of my partner reading the story. After a few pages, my daughter asks, "What's that?" pointing to one of the pictures. I again use the photograph app to describe the image. Because my daughter has placed my finger on the picture in question, I'm able to get an accurate photo, and therefore the required description the first time. Hooray! 8:30 a.m. My daughter wants to wear yellow tights today. My partner has now left the house and the fabric on each pair feels the same, not giving any clues as to which color they are. I use a color identification app, again taking a photo of the clothing before the technology lets me know its color. Orange, the app replies. My daughter only has yellow, blue, or white tights, so I guess orange probably means yellow, and get her dressed. 9 a.m. The post has arrived. I lie a letter down flat on my scanner, press the scan key. The scanner's voice lets me know the document is blank, which tells me I need to flip it to the other side. Once I've done this, I do not need to worry about positioning, as the scanner will read the document even as placed upside down. As expected, once turned over, the scanner immediately reads the letter in a clear voice once I've again pressed the scan key. The letter is a hospital appointment. I ask my speech technology to make note of the date in my calendar. 10 a.m. I'm on my way to the community center, my guide dog in one hand and my daughter holding the other. I'm using a GPS app on my phone. I started off using headphones, only using one earpiece, keeping the other free to listen to traffic, my daughter, etc. This still did not feel totally safe, so I take out the earphones, set the phone's volume to high, and place it in my pocket. I can just about hear the phone as we walk. However, occasionally a passing car, my daughter's voice blocks out what the phone is telling us. At most of the junctions, the phone lets me know which street we arrived at. However, sometimes this happens after we have already crossed over and began moving away from said street. I mainly use this app for reassurance on routes of which I am already familiar. Experience using it in lesser known areas has shown me that it can be slow to pick up where I'm standing, resulting in issuing turnings, and any unexpected noise can result in missing the app's audio prompts. Whooey, dangerous. 12 noon. It is raining, so we have decided to get the bus home. I am again using the GPS app, which also lets me know which bus stop we are at. This can be incredibly useful rather than relying on the driver remembering to tell me when I'm at my stop or trying to track the bus's movements to ascertain where we are. In truth, I use a combination of the latter method and the app. Again, there can be a slight lag with the app's information, so I try and ensure I have some understanding of where we are on the route, and I use the app for confirmation purposes. Using these methods, we arrive at the correct stop and I successfully disembark from the bus. 12:30. I text my partner to let him know we had a happy and successful morning. I use the screen radar on my phone, which reads out whatever my finger has highlighted on the touch screen. This enables me to quickly locate my partner's number and open a new text. I also sometimes use this method for typing out the message. However, today, for extra quickness, I press the dictation button on the phone and speak out my message. Once finished, I then use the screen reader to read back the message. One or two words are not quite right. Sometimes this will result in me deleting the whole message and trying again. However, my partner is used to working out dictation errors, so I press send. 2 p.m. I'm checking my emails using the arrow keys to scroll around the screen. My screen reader reads out whatever the cursor's on. I successfully check and reply to my emails for the day. 2:30 p.m. A friend has sent me a document to look at. I use my screen reader to find it in the downloads and open it. Disappointingly, as a PDF, my screen reader is unable to read the text. I email my friend back and ask it for it in another format. 3 p.m., my daughter is having some time on her tablet while my partner and I cook our evening meal. I ask my speech technology to activate the screen reader software on the tablet. Once this is enabled, I'm able to enter the passcode, again listening to the screen reader's feedback as I scroll around on the screen. My daughter asked me to play a particular game, so I locate it and open it up for her. I then ask my speech technology to disable the screen reader so my daughter can use the tablet without accessibility mode. 3:10 p.m., my daughter would like a different game on the tablet. I repeat the process of enabling the screen reader to open the preferred app, and in-app voice lets me know this app is not compatible with my screen reader and I need to turn the app's own accessibility program on. I do this wanting to locate the particular game which my daughter wants to play. The app's accessibility mode works different to my screen reader. It's difficult to scroll around on the screen, although it does audibly identify what my finger is on. It also selects as soon as I touch it, resulting in me opening lots of unwanted games. I ask my partner for help. 6 p.m., I ask my speech technology to call my dad. After our conversation, I then scroll around on the screen to locate the end call button, which my screen reader audibly identifies. My speech technology is unable to hang up a call, so a combination of approaches is needed when making and ending calls. 7 p.m., the house is quiet. I decide to read some of my book. I use an ebook app on my phone and open it up using the screen reader software and then scroll to the book I am reading. I then enable the speech settings so the ebook can be read out by the in-app reader. This works well, although some dedicated ebook devices are not accessible as screen readers and do not have options to enable speech. 8:30 p.m., my speech technology has something to say. It's letting me know I have an appointment tomorrow, and it sent the reminder several days ago. Thanks for the reminder, my speech technology. 10 p.m., I asked my speech technology to set an alarm for 7 a.m. the next day. Conclusions. There is much activity in the area of AI disability and ethics. This is very commendable and offers hope and promise to disabled individuals such as Laura and me. However, our own experiences, as detailed in our diaries, demonstrate how, on a daily basis, AI technology can assist and frustrate us. Sometimes AI technology lives up to its promise. On other occasions, it lets us down. However, overall, our own experiences of AI technology are positive. The main lesson to be learned from the literature and from our own experiences and the importance of involving the disabled people in the design of AI software and technology, which is intended for use by those with disabilities. It is no good waiting until testing or evaluation stage to involve disabled people. This needs to happen as soon as design begins. What is needed is true co-design where disabled people are part of the design team in the process of design. This should include a representative group of people with a diverse range of disabilities. Of course, this is not easy to do. However, it is vital if AI technology is to achieve its true potential. Guided by the disability movement's mantra, nothing about us without us. And then we are into the references. So that's an interesting perspective. My dad was, lost one leg, but otherwise had everything together, but did not want to go on the internet, and was very much in the pre-internet days. I always wonder what he would make of things now, but he'd probably be like me and just be more frustrated having to talk to the robot than it's worth. And I feel terrible saying that, but as I've told people before already, I'm like, we didn't have kids for a reason. I don't have this kind of patience for like training something. Want to catch on a lot faster, and especially with art right now. Like anytime I try to play around with Dolly or something, it's right at the cusp of being able to give me what I want, but it can't actually because I try to be very specific and it's still like, what, you want this? I'm like, no, that's not what I want. I'm hoping AI gets better with the drawing apps and that you can like, bound off like an area and you can like write what you want and then maybe it can, or you can, rough sketch what you want and it can finish sketch for you. I don't know. I feel like that's a burgeoning field. But what we have now where you just like throw text in it and it makes up stuff, that is less than desirable in my opinion. What I have are ideas and I just don't have skill to execute them. Anyway, here's some thoughts on AI and disability I thought might be interesting to share. Hope you liked them. And stay tuned for more.